Good evening, whoever. And if you're watching this on replay, a very, very good day or evening to you. Okay. Nice of everybody to turn up. It's 10 o'clock. It's Tuesday night, the 4th of April. What's happening in the world? Who's got anything to talk about? And let's just say hello to a few people first of all. Capo 17, good evening. The Real Dutch Farang, good evening. Brian Street, hello, mate. Seamus Doherty, hello. David Heisenberg, let's see. David Heisenberg is here, good evening. Capo 17 said, Ed's fell asleep, too much cocoa. Oh, it's been noted. Somebody put a list of all the things that I've ate and drank on a live stream, you know, from pork pies and speckled then. Well, you can add the new kid on the block. It's hot chocolate. It's not cocoa. It's called hot chocolate. And it's hot and sexy, like me. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's see. Who else have we got? Joe Hart, good evening. Neil Fleet, good evening. The Real Kippo Mac, Colin Green, Brent L, Delayed Dave. Delayed Dave, even Eddie missing the booze doesn't see it. No, I'm quite happy to be without the booze. Maybe we'll talk later about what are good alternatives to booze. You know, if you're sitting around of an evening time watching a movie or whatever, what is a good alternative? I mean, I've been drinking a few diet lemonades, but anyone think of a good alternative to booze? You know, if there is such a thing. Tom, good evening. Don, Midnight. Sean Harris, Anthony Jensen, Richard O, Frank King, Capitonian. Oh, Cape Town. We got Cape Town, you know, here in the house tonight. Kippo Macmac. How are your cravings, Eddie, if any? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say no to a bloody good dirty massage. Oh, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Bentman, Ian, as I was like without the booze, are you a reformed character now? Well, I'm actually surprisingly healthy eating. I'm quite healthy eating. I had a large mackerel today, which I got out of Tesco's. And what else? I'm eating fruit and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not drinking any alcohol at all now. It's all, you know, it's all out of my system, and it's not coming back. Not in the home anyway. I'm not going to be drinking alcohol in the home at all. Seamus Doherty. Glenn, hello, Glenn. Seamus Doherty. Sparkling water is great to sip on. Is it sparkling water? I like that kind of flavored water that you get out of the co-op. You know, the lime flavored. Well, from the last time I ordered a batch of that from Asda, it didn't even turn up. So, but yeah, good refreshing water. Yeah, absolutely. Neil Fleet, Guinness Zero isn't bad. I don't really want any alcohol, you know, no alcohol, that sort of stuff, because it just isn't the same, really. Delayed Dave, a good alternative weed. I'm currently getting into HA gummies. Nice, I don't know. I don't want to start that. I don't want to start any of that. Let's say Kippo Macmax, buying sparkling water and adding cordial for flavour is much better for you than pop. Yeah, but some of those cordials, you know, if you have like another, you know, cordials are surprisingly high in calories, even if you add water with them. You drink a few of them, the calorific content is quite high, really. Paul Harrison. Even as I drink Coke Zero at home, yeah, I've had a bit of that, but it gets a bit tiresome after a while. I do like the ginger beer, you know, the diet ginger beer that I've been drinking. That goes down quite nicely. Bottle Baby, even a happy hot chocolate. Okay, I'll drink to that. On a chilly April evening, a nice hot chocolate goes down well. That's lovely. That's lovely stuff. Even Matthew Cartwright, good evening. Samantha Saloon Bar, scuffed picture. Well, you know, just to recap, my internet has gone down the Swanee River, and it won't be getting replaced with. It's going to be replaced with fibre, but that's not until the beginning of May. So we'll see how that pans out. Anyway, in the meantime, we can only do what we can do, really. Paul Hoskin, I ate loads of fish finger sandwiches. Yuck! That sounds bloody awful. Quinn FC, I think sparkling water, you get used to it. If it didn't pop, it tastes too sweet now. Okay. Yeah, it does. If you drink too much of that, I mean, you know, I've been, you know, drinking a 2-litre bottle of diet lemonade or diet Coke or whatever during the course of meal, and it does kill your thirst and your appetite, and it does the business. The problem with it doesn't really leave you with a very, very good feeling. You know, in your mouth, really. So maybe, you know, maybe water. Maybe I've actually chilled. I've actually put a bottle of water in the fridge, and you know, good, good tap water is bloody good stuff. Terry Jones says Tizer. Capitonian, Eddie, I do recommend Cub Zero with ice. I do throw in the odd Jack Daniels though, especially when it's close to travel time. I'm not buying any more booze and bringing it into home. Capo 17, fresh orange and lemonade with ice, very refreshing. Okay, okay, fair enough. Mark, that's a nice flavour water, very refreshing. Yeah, I do like the you know, the lime flavour. Like I said, I didn't and it's not cheap. I looked at the flavoured water in Tesco's. And it was bloody well. It's expensive. Everything seems to be expensive these days. Yeah, Bart Simpson, Shandy Bass in a lady's glass. Okay, Glenn, try any more than half squeezed lemon and spoon of apple cider vinegar, warm water. Amazing for weight loss. Well, I've got squeezed lemon. I haven't got apple cider vinegar. I believe you get that from health shops, and I don't want to go down that road. Paul Oskin, chocolate muffins. Bilbao Kelso, I'm not happy. It's 1-1 and no extra time. Okay. I haven't followed the football. Sean Adams, cranberry juice. So that does sound a little bit too exotic for me. Life Utopia, Evening, do you ever think you might try to be based out in Southeast Asia and renting out your gaff in the UK for a year? Would have loads of opportunities for good travel videos and grow your channel. Well, yeah, I've thought about that, but I haven't managed. Yeah, you know, I was in 4 months. I was out for 4 months traveling around Southeast Asia, and you know, I travelled out for a moment. I mean, I've travelled for years, really, over the past 20 years. You take all the travelling times out of it, and that's up to years. So I feel like I've had a lot of retirement already. Yeah, you know, I don't feel deprived of travel. I mean, I've done plenty of that in the past. I'm not really desperate. I'm doing okay at the moment, so. You know, we'll just carry on with this for the moment. Anyway, no complaint right now. Paul McCracken, buy a 5G internet router. You're a professional YouTuber. You can afford it. Okay, thank you. Michael tonight's bottle of sparkling water, 2-litre bottle of Sainsbury's, 90 pence. Do it, mate. Leave the flavoured drink alone. Bottle of sparkling water. Okay, that's sparkling water. Okay, sparkling water. I mean, how many calories is in sparkling water? I mean, is that 0 calories or next to 0 calories? I don't know. I've never considered that. Anyway, this cocoa's nice. Hot chocolate. So we'll talk about a little bit what's happening in the world. Anything that you want to talk about, anything that's been in the news or whatever. Down 1560. I think allowing yourself the choice of a few on holiday is a good thing. Okay. Number 14 boxing. Good stream yesterday, Ed. I couldn't find it on my homepage, strangely. I'm not sure if it was shadow banned or just me. No, well, YouTube have changed the homepage. They're always changing things. What you do if you go to, you know, videos, you know, the videos, and then you see the top screen live. I mean, you see videos, but the live streams are not on the same page now. You have to go to the top, and if you press live, then you'll see the list of live videos. It's at the top of the page. YouTube having a knack of confusing people. Let's see. Michael Janaeus, is it Quinn FC, 0 calories or chemicals in water? Michael Janaeus, drink 1.5 liters a day. I do drink a lot of fluids. I mean, I could easily drink 2 liters of, much more than, many liters of liquids. Capo 17. Ed, when you get in your car, you can travel around Europe this summer. Oh, Jesus Christ, all the bloody delays and everything. Wouldn't it be a nightmare, to be stuck in Dover, getting a ferry across to Europe? I mean, have you seen the queues? That would be bloody awful. I mean, maybe Brexit's got something to do with this because they're commanding documentation on the other side. When you get to the French side, no, I don't fancy that at all. If I was going to drive, I'd probably just stay in England. What's this? Let's see, Paul Hoskin, Trump. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Trump. We'll talk a little bit about Trump, shall we? But we can't go into too much detail because that's kind of like an ongoing case, isn't it? It's kind of like an ongoing case. I mean, it seems like the Twilight Zone to me. I mean, I'm not American, and Trump's never been my president, so it's probably not right for me to pass judgment on him or American politics or whatever. But I suppose there's no harm commenting as long as we don't go into where. Illegality, talking about an ongoing case or anything like that. Yeah, able to, number 14, boxing. The green tea helps you lose weight and keeps you. Oh, anything with the word tea in it. I don't like the sound of that. Let's see, what's this next one here? This next one, come up on the screen. Sean Harris, Trump got arrested for paying off an adult and entertainer. Is that what you call it? An adult? That's a subtle phrase. Adult entertainer. I'd call it a bloody porn star, basically. Sean Harris, Trump got arrested for paying off an adult entertainer. I think what he got arrested for was not declaring it. He was. Not declaring it. It wasn't just paying it off. I think it was the fact that he used, allegedly. I don't want to go into details, but he paid it off in a way which wasn't entirely legal. This is what's claimed. And anyway, but what do we think about Trump? I mean, it all seems really, really comical. It all seems really, really comical. It's the idea that an ex-president. I mean, a lot of people love Trump, and he was like a comical character. We thought in Britain, we thought he was a joke, but then some of the more wizened people said, wait a minute, that's a guy who may become president. And some of us in Britain, stupid Britain, thought he'll never be president, but some wizened people thought, yeah, he will. And the thing about Trump, I mean, there's a lot of really good things. He speaks his mind. He says the things that the people in the street want to hear, without going into too much detail about it. But you only have to look at the news now to see it's just an almighty farce. This is an almighty farce. I mean, the fact is that if Trump was a British prime minister, he would have been ousted long ago. If Clinton was a British prime minister, he would have been ousted as well. Maybe Americans are more grown up than us British, but you look at the things that British cabinet ministers and prime ministers have been thrown out of office for. Boris was thrown out, for lying. Does Trump never lied? That's a joke anyway. And all these sexual, connotations and everything. If Trump was a British president, he would have been thrown out of office long ago, because of British snobbery about these things. But Americans seem to be different. They seem to just get on with it, really. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Sean Harris, Trump got arrested for paying off an adult entertainer. Yeah, we know all this, but what we want to know is, was she a good shag? That's what we want to know. We all want to know, is she a good shag? That's what we really, really want to know. Brian Steve, question, would you book a trip to Phuket now it's been invaded? Well, I went to Phuket quite recently and it seemed all right to me. It's been invaded by Russians, but Russians, this one, it didn't seem to be a problem to me. I mean, it's still a very, very nice place. You know, Quinn FC, we need to get back control of our borders and leave the EU. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I agree. I bloody agree. It's got worse since we left the EU. Bintman, I always used to think to myself, Eddie's always drinking beer on his vlogs. I drink beer all the bloody time. That's what I used to do. I think it's a good move to knock it on the head for a while. No, not necessarily for a while. I mean, it's here to stay. You'll enjoy a beer when you're back out traveling again. Okay. All it'll say about drinking beer when I'm in a hot climate somewhere is that I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I mean, right now in England, I've got no plans to resume alcohol. Alcohol is off the menu right now. It's clearly off the menu, and I've no plans to touch a drop of it. What I need to do now is to start lessening my calories and maybe doing a bit more exercise. Oh, Bart Simpson. If Squeaky Dog goes viral in Japan and Korea, and hordes of young Asian women want a selfie with the Squeaky, would you let them in? Absolutely, they are welcome to my Squeaky Door. They can squeeze my Squeaky Door till the heart's content. Well, some people just don't listen. Samantha Saloon Bar. This is embarrassing. Usually donations get better internet. I use skins. I'm getting better internet. I'm repeating myself over and over again. I'm ready for new internet. It's that the bastards can't deliver it and for another 4 weeks. So you know what I mean? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Well, internet is common. It's common, but I can't rush the people. Shall I phone them up at this very, very moment? Where are you bastards? Get round there and deliver my internet. Samantha Saloon Bar says so. Okay. Samantha Saloon Bar, which pixel is that? Okay. Capo 17, Trump, the man who will be king out of the mighty fall. Oh, is that? Geez, if he does get it, it's just bizarre. It's the Twilight Zone, isn't it? The idea that all of this is going on and people are saying people are saying it's just it's a stunt to get him back into the White House. It's like the bloody Twilight Zone. Black Mirror, is that what it's called? It's like one of those episodes. Samantha Saloon Bar, no live streamer has this poor quality of stream, only you. Well, I'm the privileged one, aren't I? Well, I'm a jammy bastard. Okay, I think the whole Trump thing is number 14. I think the whole Trump thing is a bit of a distraction while the dollar and the financial system is collapsing. I reckon he will get away with it and become president next year. It's bizarre. I mean, if it was a British Prime Minister going through this or an ex-British Prime Minister, there wouldn't be a chance in hell of him ever getting. He would have been discredited forever. Absolutely. But then that's Britain, and this is one of the reasons that I don't like commenting on America, because I'm not American. I probably got no right to comment on any of that. Michael Gianais, Trump is a joke, mate. Okay. Kippo Macmac, Trump is anti-establishment. That's why they all go after him. Okay. He blames everything on Joe Biden, though, doesn't he? I mean, everything's Joe Biden's fault. Everything. I mean, if Trump got caught exposing himself in public, he probably blamed Joe Biden for it. He made me do it. It was his fault. Jesus Christ. Sean Harris, Ed, what was your ideal vehicle? Sports car, utility vehicle, big yank muscle car, camper van, or something else? Well, I must admit, I quite like a big yank muscle car. I do. They're the ones. I had pictures of them on my bedroom wall when I was a teenager. Dodge Chargers, Ford Mustangs. I'd love to have one of those. But I mean, I think the insurance and the tax, the road tax, all this kind of stuff. If you try and get those into Britain, it costs you an arm and a leg. And I'd love one of those, but I don't really get that much chance to drive them. I'd probably be sitting in the driveway most of the time anyway. And besides, some really, really good British cars. The last Ford Mondeo I had was a really, really, well, it was a good, it was a good car. I know Jeremy Clarkson will probably say it's not an exciting car. I don't want the most exciting car, but that Ford Mondeo was good until the gearbox started getting a bit iffy. Paul Harrison, they're all corrupt, every one of them. Okay. Michael Janias, as a president, you need to be careful with what you say. The president's word counts. Okay. Bilbao Kelso, it's just a bloody. I mean, you look at our politics. Look at we've had the farce in our politics recently with bloody Coco the Clown, in and out prime minister. And then Liz Truss. I mean, Liz Truss, who lasted 5 bloody minutes. The sad thing about Liz Truss, a really, really sad thing, in years to come, when people look back and say, and the question is, who was the Prime Minister of England when Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died? I mean, most people will reply by saying, "Oh, it was that woman." That woman, what was her name now? Jesus, blink and you'll miss her. Jesus Christ, most people won't even remember her name in years to come. Bill Kelso, Bill Clinton gave a secondary one. Then he lied on oath. I think you mean oath, not oath, and got away. Well, you know what Bill Clinton said, don't you? I did not have sex with that woman. Okay, Bottle Baby. What does everyone think about it being a witch hunt? Well, some goes as a witch hunt because it suits him to call it that, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'd call it a bloody farce. That's what I'd call it. John Milne, hello, Ed. When's the next trip? I haven't got anything planned just yet. I'm still recovering from the last one, but thanks to the last one. Paul Oskin, I paid some bar girls and I didn't declare it. Okay. I tell you what, of course, problems if in future the bar girls you have to pay them with credit card, then you'll have difficulty, but it'll show up on your credit card statement. I actually know someone a married bloke who went with the hooker somewhere, and he paid her with credit card, and his wife got hold of his bloody statement and wanted to know what this was all about. The Ben Fern case, some situations all drama and for Hollywood. Kippo Michael, Biden will be okay, but then he can't speak a sentence. Oh God, Jesus Christ! I like maturity in politicians. I mean, I like politicians to be senior, and wise and old and wizened, but not that bloody old. You know what I mean? Not that old. Oh, Jesus Christ! Biden looks like he's about to topple over at any moment. Real Judge Farang, Eddie's topics of the week, slow internet and no alcohol. Okay. What's worse than to be talking about? Ben Fernke. I love some of the spelling coming up tonight. I'm just going to put this one on the screen and let it speak for itself. Is my look at that spelling. Ben Fairkey. He wasn't paid for jazz and lied. Oh my God, he's paid for jazz here. He's paid for jazz. Oh, okay. Paul Hoskin. What sex in the taxi here comes with the bar girl messages? Entertainment, I think. Paul Harrison, can you imagine the shit someone being if he's gone to Battaglia? He doesn't need to go to Battaglia. He can afford the most glamorous women in the world, can't he? Stormy, and that missus of his. Where does she originate from? That missus of his. Where does she originate from? It's somewhere in Eastern Europe. Is it? I don't know. Is it Latvia or somewhere that way? But God, she's a tasty woman. I'd like to see her. I'd like to see her in a vampire movie. I really, really would. I wonder if she's nice and hairy. Okay, let's see. Who we got here? Let me see. Oh, okay. I've just got, got a nice super chat there. I'm going to come back in a minute for the chat. Michael J.S., that is very, very kind, Michael. That's very, very kind. There is a nice super chat there. Thank you for that, mate. For sparkling water. Okay, we'll check out some sparkling water. Anyway, I'll try and get some sparkling water. And because the thing is, if you're sitting there drinking, what would I say? Yeah, diet lemonade. It goes down. I drink like a fish. I always seem to be thirsty somehow, and I can get through a whole 2 litre bottle of it. But afterwards, it doesn't really leave you feeling in a very, very good state. But anyway, thanks for that super chat, Michael. I appreciate that. Really do. I'm just going to go back to see Andrew Johnson, my friend from Pattaya. How are you doing, man? Let's see. Let's put Andrew's. He's been in one of my videos, Andrew. A couple of the videos. So you may have seen him. Andrew Johnson. Evening, Eddie. Glad you're keeping up your alcohol-free life. By the way, the new Go-Go opened yesterday. I haven't been yet. That's the Las Vegas Go-Go. Yeah, I believe NDTVI have done quite a bit on that one. I haven't seen it really. Well, I haven't seen it, but there's still some bloody good Go-Go's in Pattaya. There's a couple of them around the LK Metro area, but around the still some of the side streets off Walking Street have still got some really, really great ones, and they dance naturella ladies and lovely stuff. Anyway, I hope you keep it well anyway, Andrew. Nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Let's see. Sean Harris. Ed, did you ever watch live TV on Sky mid to late 90s? Topless Dart, among other things. Live TV on Sky. I never had Sky. I never actually. I've seen a little bit of the Topless Dart, but it's okay. But after a while, it gets a bit. You've seen it. It gets a bit booby after a while. I did used to watch Babe Station late at night when the analog TV came in. Or the digital TV came in, I should say, some years ago. You had all these late night stations, and it seems amazing that at the time when people were clamping down on sexism, all of a sudden Babe Station appeared in the early hours of the morning. I don't remember the male equivalent, or I don't remember an equivalent where loads of naked men were on there. Not that I personally would want to see that, but I did watch Babe Station. I did watch Babe Station, and some of it was quite fun, really. But you got tired. It's like anything. You get a bit bored with it after a while. Is Babe Station still on? Is it? I never ever watched TV, so is it still on late at night? Is it? I don't know. Yeah, Bentman, the news is just poison. Better off not watching any of it. Okay, I'll go along with that. Martin Berthold, do you have any plans to interview the film director William Shatner? He went to create one of the best sci-fi and films of all time, as well as being the oldest man in space. Was he a film director? I thought William Shatner was Captain Kirk. I didn't know he was actually a film director. I thought he was an actor. Do you have any plans to interview him? No, I have no plans to interview him. I don't think he'd. I think he'd want to be a bit above me. I don't think he's actually here to steady Eddie, funnily enough. But I wouldn't know what to say to him. I'd just be gobsmacked. Oh my God, it's Captain Kirk. There's life, Jim, but not as we know it. Jeez, I'd be speechless if I ever met him. Paul Hoskin, I'm going to keep quiet about the lady, but it's too late. You just let it out the bag. The real judge for anger. If Trump snores a line of a horse, it's not shocking. If Biden tries to split, everyone goes wild. Make me please there. Adventures around the world. Ford Mondeo was consistently Clarkson's car of the year. Great all-rounder. Yeah, the last car I had was a Ford Mondeo automatic, and it was bloody good. It was a good car. And when I got that car, it was only then that I realized just how many people actually hold Ford Mondeos in a really, really, really good high esteem. It was a good car, but it's gone down the Swanee River. I may buy another car if I feel a reason for it. I'm not going to buy a car just so that I can bloody sit in the driveway outside. But I may be looking at getting a new car. We'll see what happens anyway. Joe Hart, Biden always looks like he's going to keel over any moment. Kamala Harris looks like a runner for president. Okay. Frank Travels, limestream quality is terrible. Okay. Ben Fairgate, Clinton is the worst. He got Ben Fairgate, Clinton is the worst. He got caught so many times and lied like crazy. I mean, it wasn't who said about Clinton that he sleeps around so much that when he sits up in bed he gets dizzy. You know, but the thing, Clinton was somebody who Britain. There was a Panorama documentary about Clinton. And it was kind of like trial by television. You know, business TV sometimes does that, trial by television. And the verdict on this Panorama documentary was that if Bill Clinton was a British Prime Minister, he would have been thrown out of office by now. But maybe Americans are more grown up than we are, because as far as I know, as I recall, Clinton was quite a popular president, and the public liked him. And okay, so we got caught smoking cigars out of fannies and you know, all this kind of stuff. So what? So what? I mean, you know, as long as she's adult and consenting, I don't see the problem. You know what I mean? So yeah, Clinton was all right. I mean, what we need is we need to get rid of this, you know, assumption that everyone, all leaders should be perfect. I can forgive them for being imperfect. I can't forgive people for lying. If people are flagrantly lying, then that is unforgivable. But if they're having the odd fling, the affair, or you know, like they're running about bloody naked at parties and all that, I've got no problem with that. As long as they're running the economy well, that's what it's all about. As long as they can get the economy, that's the all important thing. Okay, Capo said someone's always 5 paces behind Bam with the filibuster in hand. Okay, fair enough. Adventures around the world. Ford Mustang is cheap to insure. It was about 400 a year, and service was cheap, about 250. It's a standard Ford service. Yeah. So it's the mechanic did tell me. A mechanic did tell me once that, you know, a Ford. I mean, it took me a long time to have a Ford, but somebody did say to me that the good thing about Fords is that a lot of mechanics can't fix a lot of foreign cars, but they can all fix a Ford. You know what I mean? So, but it's I mean, money's worth out. But anyway, Sean Harris, Ed, I reckon you'll be in a good quiz team. You have a good varied knowledge. Oh, you know, people are going to ask me all kinds of bloody questions. No, there's some things I know a lot about, and some things I know sod all about. You know, don't ask me anything about football, whatever you do. Ben Leno, some 2024. How old will some be in 2024 next year? You know, he's pushing it now. He must be near 80 now. He can't be far off it. Let's see, David Heisenberg. I think we're talking about cars here. David Heisenberg looking like Russell. A good charger, etc., are expensive, but insurance is about 170 quid, depending on the person. It said. As a few years, I checked 78 Trans Am with about 14. Okay, fair. A bit of care, you know, stuff about American cars there, I think. Stephen Tutty, evening all, Trump is still way ahead in the polls. 77 million people voted for him in the US. So polarized. No, absolutely. No, absolutely. It just looks like it just looks like a bloody farce. I mean, the thing is, British prime ministers, I mean, they tend to have been thrown out of office, and British cabinet ministers tend to get thrown out, and a lot of them have been thrown out for lying, and a lot of them were thrown out in the aftermath of the Antides because they were attending parties when they were telling the rest of us to bloody stay at home and you know, and all that. And so, how many British prime ministers or politicians are being discredited for sexual reasons? Not really that many. Not really. It tends to be for other reasons. When was the last time a British politician was discredited for anything to do with the sex? I mean, you had people like David Mellor. I mean, he was like a 10th-rate politician. I mean, he looked like an aardvark, but he was knocking off some bird wearing it, and while he was wearing a Chelsea kit and all of that kind of stuff. But he was like a two-bit politician anyway. But I suppose really you'd have to go all the way back to Jeremy Thorpe, wouldn't you? And that's about 50 years ago now. Jeremy Thorpe was the Liberal. It was a hot runner to get the Liberals back in power again until it was revealed that he battered for the other side. And that was a no-no in them days. But other than that, I don't think it's mainly sexual reasons that British politicians have been discredited. Things. Bill Clinton didn't. Bill Clinton, yeah. Things. Bill Clinton did not have rumpy pumpy with. Sorry, we can't say the word too much. It was aired about rumpy pumpy with him, not his fault. That's what they all say. That's what they all say. Yeah, you know. I mean, what was that on the news about, you know, Trump being a pain in cause and that? And somebody said Trump denies all the charges against him. Well, as an old British prostitute would have said, well, he would, wouldn't he? I mean, that was the one. If you go back, you know, before my time, I think it was Profumo. It was knocked off a couple of hawkers. Mandy Rice Davies. That was a famous line, wasn't it? Are you aware that Mr. Profumo, denies these charges? And she replied, well, he would, wouldn't he? Okay. Yeah. Oh well. But since then, not many sexual things to discredit politicians in England. Kippo Macman. Oh, yeah. Let me see. Okay, where are we now? Where are we now? Okay, Kippo Macbeth. Old joke. Man goes into a brothel and says, how much? 50 quid, she replies. American Express. She said, you can go as fast as you like face blue smart. Okay, you go as fast as you like. Okay, that's good. That's good. I like that one. I like that one. What's another one that I heard? A guy goes up into a brothel in France. You know, he's working in France, and he goes into a brothel, and the madam answers the door, and the guy says, I want a woman. She says, what kind of woman do you like? He says, oh, I want a woman who weighs 25 stone, smells like a fishmonger's, has a fanny that's like a fireplace that's being ripped out. The madam said, sir, you're a bit kinky, aren't you? He says, no, I'm just homesick. Okay. So anyway, Michael, you know, Slovenia, is that where Trump's missus comes from? Yeah, well, good looking woman. Ben Fairkay, JFK, I'd rumpy pumpy with Madeline in the White House when Jackie was gone. Okay, fair enough. Don't blame him. Sean Harris, which politician do you reckon could beat Putin in a 1 hour fight? Who could beat? He's getting on a bit, isn't he? He's getting on a bit. He's getting on it. Oh God, that's hard to say that, man. The top of your head. I mean, he's getting on Putin. I know that he wrestles tigers and all this kind of stuff. Allegedly. Let me see. Glenn, okay, thank you. Slovenia, okay. What have we got? Let me see. Let's see now. What have we got now? Bilbao Kelso. Ed, you know I've been Pattaya 7 times and never been in a go-go bar. Okay. Fair enough. Well, do you know something? I reckon that the first 7 times that I went to Pattaya, I reckon I didn't go into a go-go bar either. But once you go in them, you realise some of them are bloody good. The good thing about the go-go bars in Pattaya and in Bangkok is that they're not the tourist trap stuff that you get in other countries. If you're in a go-go bar in Eastern Europe, the Czech Republic, you know, one of them bloody places, or one of those German cities, you know, you're going to get ripped off left, right, and centre. Whereas in Pattaya, the go-go bars are really, really good. You don't have to pay to get in them. You know, providing you use your common sense, you're not going to get ripped off. So I didn't go in massage parlors either in the early days going to Pattaya. but you know, once you get bitten by the bug, it's bloody good. You know what I mean? Next time you go to Pattaya, go into a go-go bar, see what you think. Okay, let me see. Alan Hunter, hi Eddie, now's the time for you to do vlogs touring Scotland. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that. I'd love to see Scotland. I'd love to see all the mountains and the lochs and the hills. I'd love to see all of that. Really, really would. Gemini Star, good evening. James Doherty. Volkswagen Passat is what I have, and it's great. Okay, a Volkswagen. If I ever had a no, I've never had a Volkswagen. I've never had a Volkswagen, but I did have a Skoda Superb for a few years, which looked amazingly like a Volkswagen Passat. It was basically the same car with a different badge, and it was bloody good, bloody good, bloody good. But I think the honeymoon was over with Skodas. I mean, all of a sudden Volkswagen bought into Skoda, and you know, all of a sudden Skoda became the car that it became. Well, one minute it was a joke, and the next minute it was the car that everyone wanted. But I think the honeymoon's over for Skodas, because I hear that in this day and age, a lot more people having problems with them. Ted Beanie, I like calling them Babe Station and reversing the charges. Good for you, mate. Kippo Macmax. Kippo Macmac. If Mary Whitehouse had been a moderator on YouTube, how long do you think you would have lasted? Oh, that's an interesting question. I think I would have been a lot more popular, because what Mary Whitehouse did is she would draw your attention to programs that you wouldn't normally watch. She'd say, you know, you'd look at the TV guide. I'd see at 9 o'clock on ITV, there's this program going out called it's called Gemini Star. That's the first name of it. It's called Gemini Star, and you think to yourself, no, you think, no, well, it doesn't look any good. And all of a sudden, Mary Whitehouse would kick him a fuss. She'd say, this program, Gemini Star, has got loads of tits in it, and it's got loads of, and all the women are hairy, and they're running around bare ass naked. And then all of us youngsters would think, that's it, I'm going to watch it. She would draw your attention to programs that you wouldn't normally watch. So if Mary Whitehouse was around today, she'd probably be making it public. There's this guy on YouTube called Steady Eddie, and he's a dirty, dirty, dirty bastard. A dirty, dirty bastard. He's got a mouth like a sewer. And I think the following night I'd probably have about 5,000 people in the chat. You know what I mean? Oh, God, I miss Mary. I miss Mary. Number 14, boxing. Eddie, when's your birthday? Oh, who bloody cares? I'm getting on a bit. That's all you need to know. Who's this? Kippo Macmax. Clinton went to Epstein's Island 27 times. He's not, I don't want to get into all that. I don't want to get into all of that. Don't want to get into all of that. Let's see, Bitman, why all of a sudden is then gone down the Swanee edge? Unload. Well, maybe it could be the weather. It could be, you know, it be some severe weather in recent times, and it's an old system and whatever, and it needs replacing. It needs replacing. As far as I know, the system that I've got is kind of outdated. Everyone I know in this vicinity is got fiber. Everyone around seems to have fiber all of a sudden, and that's what I'm getting. But it's going to take a month's time. It will be back in a month's time. Let me see. Somebody. Ben Fenke, Trump is 76 as of today. He's only a baby then, isn't he? You see the old internet not too great, Ed, okay? Bart Simpson, I can see you. I can see you on in a motorbike and sidecar with Lisa by your side, cruising down the lanes. Lisa Dale in a bloody sidecar. It becomes a death trap. Jesus Christ. No, anything but that. Another what do we call it? Okay, second cup of hot chocolate. Okay, where are we? Paul Hoskins, John Major, and Cody. Oh, he was a boring, bloody bloke, wasn't he? And he was. We thought he was born, but it was revealed later on that he was a bit of a lad, wasn't it? Wasn't he knocking off Edwina Cody? I think, not while he was in office. I think it was before that. I think she was the one who told him that. Joe, Bill Clinton was once asked what he would say to Monica Lewinsky if he was alone with her right now. Clinton smiled at the journalist, asked the question, replied, I like that. Okay, cool. Oh, we all know what he done. Sean Harris, they say power attracts the ladies more than money. Yeah, well, I'd say money attracts the ladies, to be honest with you. Okay, let me see. David Coleman is here. Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you, David. Nice to hear from you. Hope all's well. Terry Jones, I hear British politician Nigel Lawson died the other day, aged 91. It's amazing. I mean, he was, he was overweight, wasn't he? And then he lost a lot of weight, and he ended up living till 91. Then Ian Lieber, but we don't want to go down that road. We don't want to accuse all of that. That's any of that. But anyway, nice to hear from you, Terry. Uncle Monty, are you still after booze? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be like that for indefinitely. Capo 17, Major dipped his samosa into Edwina's chapati. Okay, sounds good. Here we go. What have we got here? What have we got here? Where is it? I'm going to have a little teensy-weensy sip of this. Ugh. Number 14. Effie, what are your thoughts on the rise in mental health issues? What is the cause? Must be social media. Young people have it so tough. Really? Oh, sorry, but I don't believe that at all. I mean, the idea that young people have it so tough, no bloody way. I mean, they had it tough years ago. I mean, years ago, if a young person claims to have mental issues, people would just laugh at them and say they're a nutter. And there was probably more suicide and stuff going on years ago than there are now. I mean, at least now people listen to them. What bothers me is that there are some of them who jump on the bandwagon. There are some people who claim to be, maybe I should say, some people will take this the wrong way, but there's some people who claim to have certain conditions, and I won't say the name of the condition, but it's a common one that a lot of people claim to have, and I think it's trendy to say that you're not a full shilling. That's the fade. It's becoming trendy to say that you're not a full shilling. I mean, it's attention seeking. A lot of the time, but the idea, I mean, people have always suffered mental health issues. It's just, at least now they give these mental issues names and they give people a bit of sympathy and a bit of understanding. But I do think there's some people who are jumping on the bandwagon there, attention seekers. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, never wear underwear wearing the go-go bars, you dirty old man. David Coleman, all you see in Scotland is men with beards dressed up as women. I don't believe that. I'm sure there's some really, really good Scottish people. That's another issue, that really, isn't it? Ed ventures around the world. Ed ventures around the world. Germany isn't really about go-go clubs, but the FKK clubs. Spas are crazy. Ever been to an FKK? If not, then look them up. I've never been to one. I've heard some good reports. But the thing is, I wouldn't trust Germany too much. Now, Germany is a great place for traveling. It really, really is. And the German people are okay. But once you go down that road of trying to check out the naughty stuff, it's a real rip-off culture. It really, really has. It's got a rip-off culture in the way that Thailand hasn't got. I mean, you know, if you go to Thailand, you can go in Go Bar and various other establishments, and they're really, really quite straight. Germany, some of those places will rip you off left, right, and centre. So I'd be wary of those. Saigon Sammy, when you're coming back to Vietnam, Eddie? Well, it's you know, it's been a few years, so you never know. You never know. It's great country. It's always worth another visit. Thanks for asking, anyway. The real Dutch Farang, I think under the Skoda badge on the engine there is a Volkswagen logo hidden. Well, I mean, the Skoda Superb that I had, it looked identical to a Volkswagen Passat, and it was a bloody good car. Ben Fernk, under 30 is crazy, yeah. Okay, what have we got now? Mike Sean Harris, man in confessional. Sorry, Father, I have sinned. My missus was bent over the freezer and I ripped her skirt and gave her one. Priest, they don't like that in heaven, ever, my son. Okay, fair enough, okay. Absolutely. What's this one? Okay. Come on, next one. Number 14, but men and women are more divided than ever, and the number of single men have increased. Meanwhile, the number of single women is roughly the same. This means many women are sharing the same guy now. Sounds like a good good episode of Pornhub, doesn't it? You know, one woman, two guys. You know, it sounds like quite a good episode of Pornhub. That does. Okay. Glenn Wade, nice to hear from you. I just put this on the screen. I won't read all that because we don't want to talk about, you know, the invasion or anything or Putin or anything like that. But he met Putin and Kim Jong. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? That Trump is two-faced. I mean, the world has called Trump being two-faced. I mean, before you know what? Before he became president, Trump was slacking down Obama, left, right, and centre. You know, he said publicly, he said Obama has been a terrible president. And then when Trump, you know, becomes president and he goes to meet Obama, Trump comes away saying, Obama is a really, really good man. He's a really, really good man. Two-faced. And Kim Jong-un, whatever his bloody name is, 1 minute Trump is calling him Rocket Man, and the next he's inviting him to come along and he shows him his car and all this kind of stuff. You know, friends, he's a fine boy. This is a fine boy. Well, last week you were calling him Rocket Man. Oh, he's two-faced. He is two-faced, no doubt about it. Publicly two-faced. Yeah, Gas 77. Hi, Eddie. People are now paying me 50 quid to do the shopping for them. They pay me 50 quid and I get them 150, 200 quid's worth of shopping while dressing as a woman. Oh, Hockey Street. That's what they call it, isn't it? Good for you, mate. Nice to hear from you, Gaz. Let's see. Ben Fan K. Okay, he's talking to somebody else there. He's talking to somebody else. Gary Campbell met Mary Whitehouse at the airport once. I said, where do you go, Mary? She said, I'm going to Bangkok. I said, you might as well, you ban everything else. Okay, good for you. God, she was the person you love to hate, though, wasn't she? You love to hate her. Seaside Freddy, Ed the Clubs in Berlin are good. Okay, Shades of Studio 54. Paul Hoskin being vulgar again. It's David Coleman. It's all trying to left wing over in the UK now. Not a good time to be living there. Well, is it ever a good? It depends on your own circumstances. circumstances. You know what I mean? It depends on your own circumstance. Glenn Wildham, hot chocolate. Did you put some of those tiny marshmallows in it? No, there's going a bit over the top there, but I know what you mean. Sean Harris, have you experienced any cinemas in different countries? I don't really go to the cinema when I'm abroad. I don't go to the cinema there. I have a big TV. I have Netflix and Amazon when it's working. I have a library of DVDs. I don't really go to the cinema in this day and age, to be honest with you. So I can't really say so. One to the 299. Margaret Thatcher's daughter was photographed. I'm not going to read that one out. I'm not going to read that one out, but it sounds funny anyway. Okay. Let me see now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, David Coleman, gender dysphoria, lol, give me a break, okay? Kippo Mahmat, I'm a mental health professional, and the rise in mental health issues is self-induced, okay? Can't really go there. Can't really go there. Ben Leno, okay? How about you and that, Eddie? Load of bollocks. People feel sad. Get a grip, okay? I don't get me wrong. I mean people who are, suffering, mental health or and it is a very, very real thing. I mean, they should be given, all the care in the world. But the problem is, a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon. There's a lot of attention seekers out there who are jumping on the bandwagon. At least it's better now. I mean, in the olden days, I feel more sad for the people in the olden days, because if you had mental, no one gave a damn about you in the olden days. People didn't give a damn if people would just, laugh at you and call you a nutter in the olden days if you just at least now we're a little bit more caring. Stephen Totti. People with mental health issues feel more understood and seek help without suffering into shame. So it's in a change. Yeah, okay, yeah. At least it's establishment. At least there's no shame anymore in saying you've got mental health problems. At least there's people who look after you. I mean, the so-called good old days, they weren't really that good, honestly. I mean, I think we've probably got a more caring society now than what we had many years ago. David Coleman, morning sex is great as long as you're not in jail. Okay, I'll go along with that one. David Coleman just trying to stitch Trump up. Trump up. Well, we'll see how that goes on. Big Boy, Skoda is owned by Volkswagen, pretty much same cars, slight difference. Yeah, but I think the honeymoon's over. I mean, there was a time maybe 10 years ago when everyone wanted Skodas or Volkswagens, simply because they had a reputation as being the most reliable cars out there. But then the honeymoon was over, and especially the Skoda, and all of a sudden, I was hearing a lot of people who had problems with Skodas. So I think the honeymoon's over with them now. Mister, okay. Mister, okay, I put Mister's comment on there. Mr. First Pass had to buy 2 hams on sale at 99 cents a pound, going on sale tomorrow at $5 a pound. Oh, good for you, mate. Good for you. Well, you have a nice evening. Make sure that you don't ham it up. Have a nice evening. David Cohn, we have to face it. The world was a lot better off when Trump was president. Yeah, but what was it? Yeah, but what's knackered up a lot of things is the anti that's come along in recent times. That's knackered up a lot of things, really, hasn't it? Let's see. Sean Harris, they named the magazine White House after Mary. Well, when I seen that magazine, that's what I used to think of. What's this? Who's this? Sean Harris. Ed, did you have many nicknames at school? Well, when I was at school, that wonderful TV program called The Sweeney came out. So yeah, yeah, probably people used to sing the theme tune to me, and hum the theme tune. Yeah, absolutely, it's The Sweeney. Let me see. Seaside Freddy. Okay, yeah, the Orange Menace was great if you wanted to not 0.1 percenters. Tax break for the rest was about all that he passed. What a dog! What a dog! Okay, fair enough. Whatever happens to that wall? I mean, he wasn't around long enough to complete the wall, was he? The wall. Whatever happened to the wall? What state is the wall in now? We're going to build a wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. Whatever happened to that? David Coleman. I always get a haircut when I visit a different country. It's a great way to meet the locals. Okay, fair enough. There's some place I wouldn't get a haircut again. And I was getting a haircut in Turkey once, and they were cutting my hair and whatever, and then they were like got that flame thing. And then the young guy was massaging my shoulders and whatever, and then he was massaging the arm, then he was massaging other body. I thought, Jesus Christ, he's gonna give me a bloody happy ending in a minute without me even asking for it. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Okay. What's this? In Thailand till I die, even Eddie, last night we had a power cut, no internet or television. I had to talk to the wife. I was shocked to find out she no longer works at Woolworths. Okay, fair enough. I remember there was power cuts in India, and one night, I almost went flying down a bloody flight of stairs because the power went off. Jesus Christ. Bent over. Edward, as a boy's name, is pronounced Edward or Edward. Is it of Old English origin? And the meaning of Edward is wealthy guard. Oh, okay. Well, I never a wealthy guard. Well, I never bloody knew that. Anyway, what I do know, if you Google your own name, I Google my own name, Edward Sweeney, and I'm one of the most well-known Edward Sweeneys out there. Edward Snowden comes up a lot. And also, what's his name? Edward Scissorhands comes up a lot. Sean Harris. I play in Stripper or Outlaw Josie Wales. Both of them great movies. I mean, both of those movies proved that Clint was a great film director as well as an actor. I mean, bloody good stuff. It's hard to pick out of those two. Outlaw Josie Wales or High Plains Drifter. Both of them are well worth seeing. Barry from East Ends, I love that hoodie. Okay, fair enough. What's this? 90 minutes in the exercise bike. Ed meant top shagger in medieval England. Okay, I'll go along with that one. Anyway, here's a little. We've been on for an hour and 5 minutes now. We waffled on about Trump and all that kind of rubbish. I don't want to interfere too much or say too much because obviously, that's an ongoing case out there, and YouTube and everyone else doesn't like you talking about stuff like that. But anyway, this is just a little bit of fun, this one. I thought we'd include this one anyway. When I was a young man, I got told that I looked like somebody. What I'd done is, when I was in my 20s, I grew a moustache, and I had, sort of nice, hair, sort of, longer hair, not long hair, but a little bit, good head of hair, and I grew a moustache as well. And when I did that, people kept saying to me that I look like this guy. I really, really, really look like this guy. And it got me nerves after a while. But people kept saying, "God Almighty, you don't half look like him." So the question is, who? Okay, there you go. And then when I've been on YouTube, Jesus Christ, I've had all kinds of things. I seem to have had everything from Lou Costello, you know, the fat one out of Abbott and Costello, to Grandpa Monster. A couple of people said Grandpa Monster. Somebody watched one of my videos and said, "Is this Ron Atkinson?" Ron Atkinson. I don't bloody look like Ron Atkinson. But just to matter of just a bit of fun, who do people often say that you look like? No, let's get it over there. Who do people often say that you look like? Okay, a little bit of fun. Yeah, sure. Now, John Wayne didn't like Clint. I know because Clint, you know, was in the era of graphic violence and that sort of stuff. So yeah, and John Wayne probably didn't. He didn't like all the explicit violence that came around in the late 60s or 70s. David Coleman, Eddie, last night I had Filipino love, you jammy bastard. I should have had this years ago. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Good for you. Teddy Jones, Scouse Perm, Graham Souness. Okay, it's not who people say that you look like. You just tell me a few of yours. I'll tell you who the guy was in the 1980s. So many bloody people used to say that I look like, and it got on my nerves. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. You look like Peter Griffin. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. Sean Harris. When I was traveling the USA, I was mistaken for Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. Okay, Paul Hogan. Okay, fair enough. Barry from EastEnders. People say I look like Jay from the In-Betweeners. I've never actually watched that, so I wouldn't actually know that one. Ben Leno, my bed can't tell the difference between you and Pete. Is this Pete Griffin? Who is Pete Griffin? I don't actually know who that is. I don't actually know who that is. Capo 17. People say that he looks like Robert De Niro. We're not talking about who I look like. It's who people say that you look like. So Capo 17. People say he looks like Robert De Niro. That's cool. That's cool. Robert De Niro is a cool Italian American. Maybe if the girls say that about you, then that means that they fancy you. Somebody, a nice lady, you know, in a bank, you know, a bank, you know, lady. I think she must have been the bank manager. The bank manager. She actually said, and I'm not making this up, just a few years ago, no, about 10 years ago, she said that I looked a little bit like Al Pacino. Seriously, she actually said I looked a bit like Al Pacino. I think she liked me. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone Wife. Google Peter Griffin, the bloke from Family Guy. I've never actually watched that one, so I wouldn't actually know. Kippo Mahmat. People say I look like John Holmes until they see my face. Okay. All right, fair enough. Wait that one. Big, you know, lengthy stuff, yeah. Michael DiCaprio looks like Graham Souness. Well, that's okay. Didn't Yozza Hughes, someone said Yozza Hughes and the Boys in the Black stuff look like Graham Souness. Better looking, and he met Graham Souness, didn't he, in the episode? And Graham Souness wrote on it, better looking by far, Yozza Hughes. And Yozza's line was, better looking by far. I'm Yozza Hughes. Okay. Gemini's. Let's see. David Coleman, Eddie. Eddie, you look like a lot of my family at Liverpool. what are you saying? Is that Scousers are interpret? We're all bloody hillbillies. We all breed with each other or something. Sean Harris. Also, I was told I look like Duncan Norvell. Remember him? Chase me. Was he a comedian? I don't actually remember that one. I don't remember. Let's see. The real Christopher, I think she was confused with Robert De Niro from Heat, which Al Pacino was also in it. No, and that lovely Turkish bank manageress said that I looked like Al Pacino. I think she fancied me. I think she was sincere. I think she was sincere. Also, I was told to look like Duncan Neville. Remember him, Chase me? Okay, I don't remember that one. I was once told a couple of times that I looked a bit like Jack Nicholson out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But I'll tell you, when I grew my moustache in 1980, a guy who was on the TV an awful lot in the 90s, British TV, people used to say I look like, well, I used to get on me bloody nerves after a while. Kippo Max, Boys in the Black stuff, superb, absolutely, bloody good stuff. Hot chocolate is bloody good stuff. Yeah, let's see. Sean Harris, He's a great movie. Okay, I thought a little bit overrated, that one. In Thailand Till I Die, you look like Bernie Winters. Or does it sound like that's Bernie Winters. That's Bernie Winters. Dreadful catchphrase. Bloody hate that one. Okay, I'll tell you that when I grew my moustache when I was a young man about town, it actually, it actually worked because it actually worked when I was a young man about town, because a lot of young men had moustaches then. I'm not like the archetypal curly black the scouts with the moustache and all that, but there were a lot of moustaches around in the 1980s. Matthew Cartwright looks like Bernard Manning. So people look like people say that he looks like Bernard Manning. Okay. Now, I'll give you a clue who people used to say that I look like, because they couldn't always remember his name. But they used to say, you look like that bloke on the TV. You know, the one with the little dog. Anyone remember that one? Ed Sweeney's 22 Stone like pixelated. You look like Wurzel Gummidge. Don't you wish you did? Let's see. So anyone, it was the guy, the TV celebrity in the 1980s. He was on quite a lot. And he had dark hair, and he had a moustache, and he had a little dog puppet that went. Teddy Jones has got it. Teddy Jones has got it. Okay. Yeah, we're going to put it on the screen here. We're going to put this on the screen. Teddy Jones, Bob Carroll. That's it. People could never remember his name, but they knew Spit the dog. He had this little puppet. Spit the dog. Yeah, I got known as the guy who looks like Spit the dog. Sean Harris, yeah, Bob Carroll. It got to be bloody nerves at the time. But as soon as I grew that moustache, oh my God, I couldn't shake that one off. I just couldn't. People started calling me Bob. Okay, so 10299. You also use I'm desperate, Father. Please call me. Well, I'll put that on the screen. That was a good line. Wonderful, Father. You also use I'm desperate, Father. Please call me Dan. Yossa, I'm desperate, Dan. Not that bloody good scene. That great line. That was written by Alan Bleasdale. Good stuff. Really good stuff. Okay, Capo 17. Spit the dog. Let's see. David Heisenberg with Spit the dog. Teddy Jones, he was great. Love Spit the dog. He was apparently Bob Carroll. He was. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was around a lot in the 1980s. Apparently, he was on a program, wasn't he? And he just jumped on the stage or something with his dog, and the public liked him. And he was on the TV an awful lot, on game shows, and I think he was on Cilla Black's Surprise, and all that kind of stuff. David Coleman. David Coleman. Girls always say that I look broke till I pull up the wallet. Okay, fine. So yeah, I mean, when I first appeared on YouTube and I made a couple of videos that sort of went sort of viral. I mean, a couple of people said you look like Grandpa Monster. Really? All kinds of stuff. Sean Harris, Remember Rodol and his emu? Oh, that was good. They had some good puppets in them days. There was Rodol and Emu. There was Bob Callaghan's with Spit the Dog. Some of the other ones I didn't like. Keith Harris and Orville and a few of the other. Also Roger de Courcy with Nuki Bear. Didn't he was on New Faces at the same time as Jim Davidson. I think Jim Davidson won it. Or did Roger de Courcy win it? Anyway, we've got a variety of people, things there. There you go. So right all the name. Okay, so we'll chat about another little thing anyway. One final little topic, because we've been on for 1 hour and 17. I know that the internet is crap, but as long as you can hear me voice, and you know what I look like anyway. You know what you look like. Let's see, who's putting this on? Kippo Macmax. Are the Chuckle Brothers the worst comics ever produced? Some people they were so bad they were good, and I think the kids liked them. What have we got here? Okay, so what have we got here? Let's see. Let's go down this way. There we go. Let's go down to Swanee there. But what have we got? Okay, we've got some other quite serious questions here, which we can really get stuck into. But I've been on for 1 hour and 17 minutes, so we may as well keep it light anyway. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me see. What else have we got? What else? We'll get that one off the screen. We'll get that one off the screen. There's got to be something else. We've got a few good little topics of conversation there. Okay, this is a simple. No, I think we've done that one. We've done that. Okay. Okay, so here's one. We may as well do it because it's right at the end of the show. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Just a little click on. There's a lot to be said about this final topic, but it's in the news quite a lot, and there's a lot to be said about it. We'll just skip through it briefly anyway to finish off on. I don't want to get too heavy with this one because it's not necessarily politically correct. And the question is, no, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Okay, there you go. Don't want to get too heavy with this one because it's some people might not like this one. Okay, so the question is, it's been in the news a lot. It's been in the news a lot. Should trans prisoners be allowed in a woman's prison? I mean, there's been controversy because there's been trans people who've been sent to a woman's prison and have then gone on to perform heinous acts with the women's prison. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail about this because we've got to be careful with this one. But basically, the way I see it, anyone who's got a welly, should be, shouldn't be in an environment when women have got their womanly bits. You know what I mean? But what do you think anyway about this? Let's see. Matthew Cartwright says obviously no. Kippo Macmax, no, because they are not women. David Coleman, the CBC in Canada has trans on their channel. It's terrible. It's terrible. Matthew Cartwright, they are mentally. I mean, Ian Bowden, I actually know, born a man, men's prison, born a woman, woman's prison. It's simple. Or better still, don't commit a crime and then there's no prison. I mean, that's the way I see it. But I mean, one of the debates that's you know, but about trans using women's toilets. I mean, I think that's a bit. I think that's a bit, you know, sick. Personally, I mean, what would you think if you were in a toilet and you had a cubicle? No, not a cubicle, not a cubicle, but you had a urinal and you had your manly bit out having a pee, yeah, and then the next minute some bloody transvestite comes in. No, I won't say it like that. A transgender comes in and stands in the urinal next to you and whips his manly bit out. I mean, what would you think? Would you be bothered? Would you be shocked? Would you run out? Would you piss on his leg? What would you do? What would you do? What would you do? Capo 17 in a segregated block with no contact with other female prisoners. Yeah, because there was a case, wasn't there, where a bloke, you know, you know, some people say he wasn't really trans. He was, you know, but he was going to prison anyway, and he claimed to be trans, and he ended up in a woman's prison, and then, you know, assaulted some women. Gemini Star, yes, good question. Ask it, Star. Okay, the real Dutch Farang. Look at BP bigger. Is that what you do? Is that what you do? Okay. Okay, we'll cut that one out, and we'll cut that one out because we'll cut that one out. We'll change it because it's a bit heavy that subject. It's a bit heavy, that subject. Okay, it's a bit heavy, that one, and we'll go with this one instead. Okay, so the question is, this is more light-hearted. Okay, there you go. This is a more light. We can always claim that this is more light-hearted. Okay, more light-hearted. So we still got 101 in the chat anyway. The internet's bloody off. There you go. Okay, let's just get that on. Yeah, what would you do if trying to use the urinal next to you? I'll leave it up to you. I won't say too much. I'll just leave it up to you. Matthew Cartwright. I'm not a big fan of trans, but what is the woman? None of them could. No, what is it? Yeah, what is it? No, what is it? Matthew Carter. I'm not a big fan of trans, but I do like the occasional ladyboy at weekends. Oh, not for I tell you what. I walked. I walked because you know, I won't give you the reason. There's no bloody particular reason, right? But anyway, I walked up the back end of Soy 6. If people know Soy 6 in Pattaya, where the ladyboys are, I just walked past. I didn't want to see the ladyboys. I just wanted to walk that way for a reason. So there were some big butch ladyboys, and one of them, with a deep voice, grabbed hold of his plonker. You know, and I thought that's a bit tasteless. That is. Don't ask what I was doing there, but I wasn't there like for ladyboys. Just there going. I was going down that way for another reason. I wanted to avoid somebody. David Coleman, when the politicians asked what is a woman, none of them can answer the question. Michael DiCaprio, there's only two sexes. You're born a girl or a boy. Okay, okay. The real Dutch Farang, I'm born male, so am I, and I'm proud of it. David Heisenberg, depends on what they look like. I may go in the cubicle. You know, that's good. We'll put that one on the screen. We'll put that on the screen. Okay. Okay, we put David Heisenberg look like Russell. Depends on what they look like. I may go in the cubicle with them. Okay. Now I know that there are some people in the chat here who actually like ladyboys. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. If that's what you like, then that's up to you. I mean, we are you know, on this channel we're broad-minded. We're very, very broad-minded on here. It's Tanda is here. Nice to hear from you, Tanda. Overall, yeah, you've missed two cups of hot chocolate, Tanda. You missed 2 cups. That's what you've missed on this live stream. Nice to hear from you. Bend over. I would ask how much for shirts. Okay. Hey, Bowden. I compare dick sizes with the bitch. The real Dutch Farang. Again, look at PP bigger. let me just, no, I'm going to put that one, not that one. Let's see, Gemini Star. Gemini Star, okay. Where's that one coming on the screen, is it? No, we're going to put this one on the screen. Yeah, Gemini Star, European Ladyboys, no thank you. I tell you what, I was in a bar in Berlin a few years ago, and there was like, there was ladies of the night outside, and there was a ladyboy. I mean, can you imagine a German person? I mean, can you visualize a German man dressing up as a woman? I mean, it doesn't go together, really. You don't think of Germans in that way, really, do you? Yeah, you really, really, really don't. Jesus Christ. Not for me. Let me see now, okay? Let's see. David Coleman, a Ghana woman's prison in America got 2 female prisoners pregnant. Wow. Well, not a woman, okay? What a woman, okay? It's quite amazing. Kippo Macmac, 36, scary even the days. Yeah, I was only going down there because I didn't want to go down the other road because I was trying to avoid somebody. Recipe to AG recipe for disaster. The real Dutch farang. Prisoners should be separated on weight class, not gender. Tampa guy, back in my day, 2 years ago, they were called cross dressers. Let's see, who's this? Let's see, Kippo Macwax, Lily Savage, R.I.P. I thought he was funny. I think we discussed Lily Savage the other day. I liked, Paul O'Grady was good. He was good. Not one of my favorites, but he was good. Lily Savage, I mean, I was a bit horrified at first, but it kind of grew on it. He's very, very talented comedian, very talented. Let's see, those real Dutch farang, those Germans you were talking about, Eddie, were probably cross dressers. Okay. Capo 17, when finished, would you move my ass quickly to the when finished, you move my Capo 17 would say, when finished, would you move my ass quickly to the left, slap my hand loudly on the arm, and say bye in a deep voice? Okay, fine, thank you. I mean, personally, I mean, if I was in a Euro and a bloody tranny came next to me and whipped it out, and now if that had happened 30 years ago, I would have been shocked. I would have been bloody shocked, disgusted, and have probably thrown up and all that. But nowadays, you become more. I mean, those of you who have been out to Thailand, Pattaya, so many times, if that place doesn't make you more broad-minded, then what will? I mean, who cares? I mean, the chances are that my body is a lot older and more decrepit than any of these people. So, I mean, they're probably more horrified by me than I am of them. And you know what I mean? Let's see, David Coleman, what could you do? Just ping it out. Yeah, okay. Legan, I would ignore it and get the hell out of there. Well, I'd finish me pee first of all. I'd finish me. I wouldn't bloody care. I wouldn't care so much now. I would have been shocked years, but now I just wouldn't care. I just wouldn't care. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, David Heisenberg. David Eisenberg looking like Russell. I had a big boobs job, a ladyboy from Nana Plaza in Bangkok for the first time, and it was great. And she did not do me up. Do you know where that oh my? I mean, the only problem I have with ladyboys in places like Pattaya. I mean, I'm tolerant. I'm tolerant, but occasionally you will hear them shouting obscenities after men, and it's not very nice. And I've heard ladyboys shouting some kind of obscenities, and I don't like that. They don't do themselves any favor. I mean, I was in one bar in Sober Cow, and the next bar was a ladyboy. And I could actually say into it, I say into it, and one of them started dancing on the stage, dancing on the table, fair enough. But then he lifted his skirt up and showed all his his meat and 2 veg. And I thought, I don't need that. I really, really don't need any of that. Definitely not. Definitely not for me. It's a bit over the top. It's all probably okay as long as they're a bit subtle. Be a bit subtle about it. Gemini Star, imagine a 65-year-old man cross-dressing. Well, there was the manager, that boxing promoter, wasn't there? What was his name? What was it? Maloney. Was it called Frank Maloney? I mean, if you're going to think of anyone who's an old man who's going to, become a woman at an old age, I mean, a boxing promoter is the last one you think of, but he did, didn't he? He did. It's a strange world. It's a funny old world. Ian Brown, I must admit, would get stage fright if it's Sonny said next to me at a urinal. I'd probably be so shocked that I'd be tempted to piss over the. No, I wouldn't. No. I would have been shocked years. Well, no, I just wouldn't give it. As long as he didn't get the manly bit out and start waving it at me, I wouldn't really be that bothered. Seaside Freddy says, I look like Winston Churchill. Now, that's the first one that I've heard there. Sceneries, you remind me of Les Dawson, Eddie. It was good. It was good. Ian Bowden, anyway, to my book frame and this dress tonight, love. I open it. Anyway, we're on 1.5 hours now anyway. Anyone got anything else? We may as well finish pretty soon. I know the internet is really, really crap, but as long as the audio is good and I can still hear what I can still see what your comments are, and you can still hear me, whatever, we can still do it anyway. Think of it as a radio show. It will get better. It will get better because I know the fibre, the internet is a long way off. It's coming at the beginning of May. But there's nothing I can do about it. Just got to keep plodding on anyway. And at the end of the day, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, what the hell else is going on? Okay. Let's see. Okay. We've got some like McLaren F1 race. Mr. Eddie Let's does it. Cassie Stone say hi. Okay. Hello to you. Anyway. Here we go. So I'm going to finish now anyway. We've been up for 1.5 hours. It's Tuesday night. I'll be back on Thursday night anyway at 10 o'clock. We'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more. As long as we can keep going and do a live stream, it's better. It's better than some of the other people out there who just talk about bloody hating each other. At least we don't do that. We always manage to find. We always manage to find things to talk about. David Heisenberg, a guy and a ladyboy was having a go at each other near Nana Plazas. The guy said the ladyboy stole from him. Ladyboy gave the guy a real mouthful of the street, shouting and screaming at them. Oh, well. Like I said, I'm tolerant of all of those people, but when you hear some of them, mouthing vulgar things here at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's not very, very nice. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to say good night. We've been on for 1.5 hours. Thanks for coming along. Apologies once again for the poor vision, but at least we've managed to get through it anyway. We've always had 100 people in the chat anyway, more than 100 people. So have a great Wednesday, and I'll be back on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. All the best, guys. Cheers.